Hack number 1, we're making these ever so popular plant baskets. So for this, you are just going to need this basket that I got from IKEA. It does come in different sizes. I'm using this silver metallic acrylic paint. And lastly, you're going to need a paintbrush. Oh, and definitely don't forget that you want to cover your workspace. You don't want to get paint anywhere. So starting off, I just folded in the top half of this basket. It folds in really easily, and then I flipped it over because I'm doing like a color blocking. So my tip for this would be to not paint on the bottom. It's just not necessary, and it may crackle because the plant is sitting on there. So I poured out a little of my acrylic paint, and the trick with this stuff is to mix it up like this so it gets extra metallic before you paint it on, or it's not really gonna have that metallic sheen. So for this, all I needed is 1 coat of this metallic paint. Again, like I said, it won't be super metallic if you don't mix it like I showed here. So I would recommend doing so, that way you can avoid having to paint multiple layers of the paint on there. So I just painted like up and down and diagonally to fill in any of the little holes. So it's just as simple as that. You want to go around and paint the bottom half until you are completely done with that. Then I just moved it over to the side over here and let it dry for about 2 hours. Once it was dry, I put my plant in it. And what's cool about this is you could also take it as a beach bag to the beach. For hack number 2, we're actually headed to the kitchen section of IKEA, and for this we're just making this cute little storage tray for organization for your room. For this, you're just going to need this cutting board from IKEA. This is the smaller version. I'll have everything linked down below. I actually used masking tape. The painter's tape did not work for this. You're going to need a paintbrush, and lastly, you're going to need some gold leaf paint. So decide whatever design you want to make on your little board. I'm just keeping it minimal and doing a stripe. So I did want to go ahead and also tuck that tape underneath the board as well. Make sure it's down nice and secure, and then you want to go in with your gold leaf paint. Usually only 1 coat of this stuff is needed. It's amazing. I use it for lots of things. So I then also painted the sides as well, just to give it a little more detail. But pro tip, definitely remove the tape while the gold leaf is still wet. It does tend to dry quickly, so do this immediately after you're done painting on your design. After that, I'd let it dry for a couple of minutes, and then you have your new little organizational tray. You could also use this to store your perfumes, and it would look absolutely amazing in your room. For the 3rd DIY, we're making this really cute bathroom organizer that is super simple to make. It only has 1 step. So for this, you're just going to need this little plant holder from IKEA. It'll be in the plant section right next to the pots. This is what it looks like. And then you are going to need some vinyl letter stickers, or pretty much whatever you want to decorate. Even contact paper would work. So I'm just measuring out the length of this and finding the middle, because that is where we're gonna place the middle letter. I'm just making mine say relax, so the L would be in the middle. And these letters are great because they stick on pretty easily, and if you make a mistake, you can easily peel them back up. So it's not super permanent if you mess up a little bit of this. But after that, I just laid out the legs, and I added it to the corner of my bathroom, and I just added some of like my daily facial items. And I love the way that this is just nice and organized, and everything's right there for me to see. Moving on to hack number 4, I'm using another great item that I found in the kitchen section. It's just this wooden bowl. Do keep in mind that a lot of the wood pieces from IKEA do come with a coat over them. So for this particular DIY, I'm using this wooden bowl, but if you want your stain or paint to appear brighter, you may want to use some sandpaper before you're using your wood stain. So here I'm just using wood stain in an old towel. You're also going to need a trim to put on your bowl. I'm using this olive pom-pom trim, and I'm actually using 1 yard of it exactly. And then lastly, you're going to need a hot glue gun. So I began by covering my work surface. You do not want to get the stain anywhere because it does stain. And you're just going to take your bowl, and I do this kind of messily. I always do it this way, but I just pour a little amount of the stain onto the bowl. I then take my rag and just kind of rub it all over and let it like saturate into the wood as much as possible. I wanted it to have a light stain, so as you see here, I'm just going in and wiping off and rubbing off any of the excess. After it's dry, you just take your hot glue, and you want to go in and glue that trim along the edges of the bowl. This is pretty simple and easy to do. Again, anytime you're using hot glue, it's amazing because it sticks really well and it dries instantly. So I just went around the entire bowl. There's really no right or wrong way to do this. And I just attached the trim right up to the edge of the bowl until, as you see here, I was completely done. And as you see, the 1 yard covered exactly perfectly with only a little bit to spare. So after that is done, I just kind of used it to store things, and it just kind of looked like a fun, cool decorative piece to put on my coffee table next to my magazines. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. My Instagram and social media are linked down below. Be sure to follow me on there. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!